Good day, future nurses. And now let's proceed to our next discussions in terms of the research. And let's now talk about the research instrumentations. That is refers to the tools, devices, or methods used by the researcher to gather relevant data needed to answer the research questions and achieve the study's objectives. It serves as the primary means of collecting, measuring, and analyzing variables of interest in a systematic and objective manner. Nature of the research instrument. Research instruments serve as measurement tools and are integral component of any nursing research study. So these are the tools or mechanism used to collect data in the study. Their nature depends on the type of the research, the variables being measured, and the objectives of the study. Essentially, research instruments serve as the bridge between the researcher and the data, ensuring that the information is gathered systematically, accurately, and consistently. And when we say instrument, that are the special prepared tools or devices used to collect needed data or informations uh, and facilitate observations and measurement of the research variables consistent with the purpose of the study. These are the guidelines for developing the research instrument. Developing effective research instrument is a critical step to ensure the accuracy, reliability, and validity of the data collected. The following guidelines can help researchers design instruments that effectively capture the required informations. When designing a research instrument, several key principles must be followed to ensure it effectively serves the purpose of the study and procedures reliable and valid data. Sustainability to the study purpose. The instrument must align with the objective of the research, gathering data that directly addresses the research questions and allows testing of the hypothesis. Valid indicators. Each items or question in the instrument should have a clear indicators that are directly related to the problems and hypotheses. Indicators should be measurable, relevant, and logically arranged to facilitate systematic data collections. Unbiased and detached responses. The question must be framed so that they capture the respondent's true perceptions without leading or influencing answer. This ensures that the responses reflects genuine opinions or behaviors. Reliability. The instrument should consistently produce comparable results when administered to the different respondents or under different circumstances. Reliable instrument reduce errors and improve the trustworthiness of the findings. Minimizing cheating or influence. The instrument should be designed to prevent or discourage manipulations, ensuring that the respondents' answers are their own and are not influenced by others. Ease of administration. The instrument should be simple and straightforward to administer. Instructions should be clear, specific, and easy to follow so respondents understand how to provide accurate responses. And appropriate measurement scale. The type of scale, example, the nominal, ordinal, internal ratio, or Likert, must be sustainable for the data being collected and capable of producing reliable and meaningful results. By adhering to this principle, the research instrument will be effective, reliable, and valid, allowing researchers to gather accurate data that can answer the research questions, test hypotheses, and contribute to the meaningful conclusions. There are types of research instrument. Number one, we have a questionnaire. It is a self-administered research instrument that is structured with specific questions and indicators to design for respondent to provide their reactions. It is used to measure a wide range of informations, including the knowledge level, opinions, attitudes, beliefs, ideas, feelings, and perceptual assessment of the respondents regarding the variable under study. By systematically collecting these responses, a questionnaire enables researchers to gather the consistent and organized data that can be analyzed to answer the research questions, test hypotheses, and draw meaningful conclusions about the populations being studied. Another one we have your scanning questionnaire. It's a method of data collection designed for use with questionnaire that have been administered online in face-to-face interview by mail or over the phone or over the telephone. This approach allowed the responses to be quickly and efficiently recorded. open using optical scanning or electronic data capture system. By standardizing the ways answers are collected and processed, scanning questionnaire help ensure accuracy, consistency, and ease of data management, especially when dealing with a large number of the respondents. These are the advantages. Questionnaire facilitate efficient data gathering from a large number of respondents and make it easier to test data for reliability and validity. They are generally less time-consuming than interviews or observation and help preserve the anonymity and confidentiality of respondents, encouraging honest responses. Additionally, questionnaires are easy to administer and allow straightforward retrieval of collected data when properly organized. Disadvantages. However, questionnaires also have been limitations. Printing and mailing costs can be high and the responses rate may be low, especially for mail survey. Respondents may provide only socially desirable answer, limiting the accuracy of the data. There is a less opportunity to clarify ambiguous responses, and the retrieval of completed questionnaire can be challenging, potentially reducing the effectiveness of the data collected or data collections processes. Next, interview is one of the most commonly used research instruments involving one-on-one dialogue between the researcher and the subject. In this process, the researcher asks or reads questions directly to the participant to elicit detailed responses. For formal interviews, an interview schedule is often used, which provides a structured set of questions to ensure consistency across all participants. Alternatively, an interview guide may be employed containing pertinent questions while allowing flexibility for the interviewer to explore responses in a greater depth. These methods enables the collection of rich, qualitative data about the participant experiences, opinions, attitudes, or perceptions. Structured interview and unstructured interview, that is a type of interview. When we say structured interview is a research method in which the interview follows a set of prepared questions to collect the required data from respondents in a consistent and organized manner. This approach ensures that all participants are asked the same questions, make it easier to compare and analyze responses. In contrast, an unstructured interview allows the interviewer to ask questions more spontaneously or at random, providing flexibility to explore topics as they arise. Despite its open format, the interviewer ensures that the discussion elicits comprehensive and holistic information relevant to the research problem, allowing for in-depth understanding of the subject under study. Methods of interviewing. Okay, we have interviews can be conducted using several methods, each suited to different research contexts and objectives. We have your personal interview. The interviewer asks questions facing the interview. This can take place at any place where the respondent is willing to answer the question asked by the researcher. Okay, so that is the interviewer and the respondent allowing detailed, in-depth responses and observations of nonverbal cues. We have telephone survey conducted over the phone. This method is faster and less expensive than personal interview, while still allowing for clarifications of questions, and these people can be easily contacted. Mail survey, questionnaire, or interview schedules are sent and returned by mail, enabling access to respondents in distant location. True response rate may be lower. So this is also most convenient time, but there is an intrusive and considered the least expensive method. We have your computer-directed interview. Use a software program to guide the interviewer through questions and records responses, improving efficiency and accuracy. And then we have your email survey. These are the questions are sent by email and respondents reply electronically, making it cost-effective and convenient for both parties. Okay, that is no cost involved. Once the setup is complete, the respondent can attach picture or sound file, but limited only to the simple questions. And then we have your internet or intranet survey conducted online. This survey allows researchers to reach a large number of respondents quickly which automated data collections and easy analysis. So each method has its advantages and limitations, and the choice depends on the factors such as the research objectives, populations, accessibility, cost, and desired depth of the informations. Okay, the advantage and disadvantages of interviews. Advantages, interviews allow for broad and varied responses, giving participants the opportunity to provide complete and detailed answers, especially when questions are well structured. They also enable the researcher to observe both verbal and nonverbal behavior, providing additional insight into the respondent's attitude, feelings, and reactions. Furthermore, interviews offer flexibility, allowing the interviewer to adjust questions and probe deeper based on the respondent's answer. However, in the disadvantages, interviews can be time-consuming and expensive, particularly when conducted face-to-face or with a large sample. So, scheduling interviews may be also challenging, and the respondent's answer can sometimes be influenced by the interviewer's behavior or presence. Additionally, interviewers requires proper training to conduct sessions effectively, maintain consistency, and minimize bias in data collections. Okay, in research, scale is a measurement device to assign numeric score to individuals, placing them on a continuum according to the attributes being measured. Scales help quantify abstract concepts such as attitudes, opinion, or personality traits, allowing researchers to analyze and compare data systematically. And there are different types of scales. It starts here with social psychological. These are commonly used in quantitative studies to discriminate among individuals based on their differences in attitudes, fears, motives, perception, personality traits, or needs. So by providing numeric score, this scale allows researchers to measure variation in psychological or social characteristics and to analyze relationship, differences, or trends among the study's participants. And then we have your Likert scale. So yung Likert scale natin, that is a widely used scale that measure attitudes, opinions, or perception by asking respondents to indicate their level of agreement or disagreements with a series of statements. So usually, responses are scored or at a 5 or a 7-point continuum, allowing for quantitative analysis of subjective data. And then we have your semantic differential scale. This scale measures the connotative meaning of concept by asking a respondent to rate a concept on opposite adjective pairs. So example here, we have your happy or sad, effective or ineffective. So it captures the subtle attitude and perceptions towards the objects, events, or ideas. And then we have your visual analog scale, a continuous scale used to measure subjective experiences such as pain, mood, or satisfaction. So respondent marks a point along a line between two endpoints, providing a quantifiable measure of intensity. And then we have your vignettes. That is a short descriptive scenarios or stories presented to respondents to elicit reactions, judgments, or decisions. So ang vignettes natin are useful in exploring attitudes, beliefs, and behavioral intention in a specific context. And we have your Q sort, a method in which respondents sort a set of statement or items into categories based on how they are agree, identify with each statement. It is often used to study subjective opinions, personality traits, or preferences in a structured and comparative way. So these skills provide researchers with tools to quantify subjects' attributes, making it possible to analyze complex psychological, social, and perceptual variables systematically. Next, we have your self-report. In self-report is a research method in which an individual is asked to provide information about their own behavior, thoughts, feelings, or mental status. So these techniques relies on the participant's own account, perception of their own experiences, making it direct way to gather subjective data. So self-report are commonly used in studies assessing attitude, personality traits, mental health, habits, or daily activities, and they can be administered through interviews, uh, uh, questionnaires, or diaries. While self-reports are efficient and provide personal insight, they may be influenced by memory recall, social desirability, or personal bias, which researcher must consider when analyzing the data. And then the least accurate type of self-report measure is one of the asks a person to look back in time. Look back in time and remember details of a behavior or experiences. Tinatawag po natin yan retrospective self-reports. Okay? Next, we have your anecdotal records and other documentary materials. So, anecdotal records are personal accounts or observations made by the researcher, open, written in a notebook, or encoded for systematic recording. So, these records capture specific events, behavior, or experiences as they occur, and then providing qualitative insight into the phenomena under the study. And then yung documentary materials naman refer to existing records or documents that supplement primary data such as report, official records, or published materials. They help enhance the accuracy and veracity of the data collected by providing additional context or evidence related to the variables under investigation. And then we have your mechanical instrument. These are the tools or devices that measure variables using machine or diagnostic equipment such as medical diagnostic machine, sensor, or laboratory instruments. So these instruments provide objective, precise, quantifiable data often used to validate or complement information obtained through other research methods. So together, this instrument allows researchers to collect comprehensive, reliable, and multidimensional data for thorough analysis of the study variables. These are the preparations of questionnaire and interview schedule. The researcher must decide whether the data should be collected through interview or questionnaire. So how the instrument should be structured and what information will be gathered. Secondly, determine which information is being sought, then formulate and record the question properly structured and sequenced. And prepare a cover letter and a brief introductions stating the purpose of the study, the importance of the respondents' participations, the assurance of confidentiality, our responses, and cut-off date for the retrieval instrument. And also, vital to determine the general content of the questions needed. Having made these determinations, the researcher may prepare the draft of the instrument, subject the draft to critical reviews by the expert validity and pre-testing for reliability tests. And finally, the researcher should administer the revised draft to the actual study respondents. So interviews may help supplement and verify the data yielded with the questionnaires, and interview question must relate closely to the indicators of the questionnaire. So these are the types of question asked in the interview guide or interview schedules. We have your structured and unstructured. And there are type of questions. We have your open-ended and closed-ended. So pag sinabi nating open-ended, these allow respondents to answer freely in their own words, providing detailed, qualitative information and insights into opinions, experiences, or perceptions. While in close-ended questions, these restrict respondent to the predefined answer choices, making data easier to quantify and analyze. So there are common types of close-ended questions include dichotomous items, that is question with two possible answers such as your yes or no or yung true or false. Pag sinabi naman nating multichotomous items, question offering more than two choices, allowing selection of a single responses from multiple options. Parang yung select all that apply. And then we have your fixed alternative or multiple choice item. Respondents select from a set of predetermined alternatives, open including one correct or most suitable answer. And then we have your projectile questions. Indirect questions that reveal underlying attitudes, motives, or feelings by asking respondent to project their thoughts onto scenario or stimulus. And then we have your cafeteria questions. Question providing a wide range of answer options, allowing respondents to select one or more than best represent their choice. And then we have your rank order questions. Respondents are asked to rank items in order preferences, importance, or priority. And lastly, you have your checklist. Respondents mark all items that apply from the list, providing information on multiple attributes or behaviors simultaneously. So this type of questions allow researchers to capture both qualitative and quantitative data depending on the study's objective and the level of detail required. These are the possible response error in self-reported data. We have your telescoping error. This occurs when respondent misremember the timing of the past event, reporting them as occurring more recently or more distantly than they actually did. So this can be distort the accuracy of the data in studies that really on recall. And then we have recall loss, also known as memory decay. This happens when respondents fail to remember past events or experiences accurately, leading to incomplete or missing information. It is particularly common in studies requiring long-term recollections. And we have your social desirability bias. This occurs when respondents alter their answer to appear more favorable or acceptable according to societal norms or expectations, and it can lead to over-reporting of positive behavior and under-reporting of negative or undesirable behavior, affecting the validity of the data. So these errors highlights the importance of careful instrument design, clear questionings, and triangulations of data to minimize the bias and improve the accuracy of the research findings. How to avoid social desirability bias? Use online survey. There should no third party involved that could influence the respondent answer. Doing anonymous survey, the respondents may be confident that they can answer questions without risk of identification or potential reprisal, hence may answer truthfully. Keep purpose of the survey vague to elicit for more honest responses. Wording of questions that will not point the particular route for their answer. Use online platform and use indirect questions to avoid the inherent bias. And the validation phase, validation is the process of collecting and analyzing data to assess accuracy of an instrument. So this requires expert opinion to ensure that instrument measure what is intended to measure. In this phase, the researcher should formulate good questions to answer the problem as the health expert of the subject area, conducting the pretest and asking the pretest participants for feedback for further refinement of the instrument before the actual data collections. And these are the characteristics of a good question. So you can see on your screen what are the characteristics of a good questions. And then this is the way of stating the research questions. Okay, research questions that are simple and clear are important indicators to elicit accurate answer from the respondent. So the following guidelines to state the research questions. Number one, questions should be stated in affirmative rather than negative manner. Questions should be neutrally worded to avoid biased responses. Third one, ambiguous question must be avoided. Use a word with multiple meanings may result in confused interpretations. Fourth one, double negative question which are difficult for respondent to answer are likewise not advised. And fifth one, similarly double-barreled question or two questions stated as one could yield confused answer. Okay? These are the ways of stating the research questions. And cover letter should go with the questionnaire stating the purpose and benefits of the study can give the respondents, the profession, and to the society itself. In quantitative evaluation phase, this include the pilot testing or pre-testing of the instrument, the representative sample having the same inclusion criteria with that of the proposed actual samples. And then the pilot study or pre-test instrument. A pilot study is in a smaller version of a proposed study. It is conducted to refine the methodology. Okay? Pilot study is also known as the field test or dry run. Okay? And then the research instrument are best assessed for their validity and reliability by means of pre-test or dry run before the actual studies. And dry run is a trial version of the study. Pre-test respondents are part of the populations with similar characteristic or inclusion criteria to those of the actual study participants or subject, but they will not participate with the actual survey. So for example, your target population is 100 nursing student. In your pilot study, you can have 50 nursing student. But then, hindi na po sila kabilang dun sa 100. So these are the purpose of conducting a field test. You can see on your screen. And now let's proceed to the criteria for evaluating the instruments. Okay, when developing or selecting a research instrument, it is essential to ensure that it meets the certain evaluation criteria to guarantee the quality and accuracy of the data collected. Reliability. The instrument should produce consistent and state result when used under similar conditions or different respondents. Validity. It must accurately measure what it is intended to measure, ensuring that the data truly reflect the variables of interest. Efficiency. The instrument should allow data to be collected effectively with minimal waste of time, effort, or resources. Sensitivity. It should be able to detect subtle differences or changes in the variables being studied. Objectivity, the results should be independent of the researcher's personal biases or interpretation, ensuring the impartiality. Speed, the instrument should allow quick administration and data collection without compromising accuracy. Reactivity, the instrument should minimize the influence of the measurement process on the respondent natural behavior or responses. Simplicity, question and instruction should be easy to understand and follow, reducing confusions and errors. And lastly, meaningfulness, the instrument should yield data that are relevant and significant, providing insight that are useful for addressing the research objectives. So by adhering to these criteria, researcher can ensure that these instruments are effective, trustworthy, and capable of the producing valid and actionable data. And these are the research instructor for nursing research ones. And if you have any questions on concern regarding our topic in terms of research instrumentations, you can approach me anytime or you can message me. And these are the references of our topic for today. Thank you for listening and have a great day, everyone.